situation, they drive down and get a much-needed score.
Yeah, nice job by Woodley to finish that one off, but all the credit goes to those guys up front. They just paved the way for the big man to walk in the end zone. You see them do a nice job to get to the second level, and not many people are going to want to take him on head on. And Woodley's in the end zone for the 22nd time this season.
Kick is good. Sports.
Hi, Roger Scott for Big Red Stores. Big Red Stores is proud to support high school athletics and to sponsor these high school championship games. Over 40 Big Red Stores are located throughout Central Arkansas, each one staffed with our team members who have participated in games, marched in the band, or led the spirit teams in cheers. And now we are pleased to bring families, schools, and communities together. Big Red Stores, now more convenient than ever. Enjoy the games.
Greenwood has their hands team out there. They expect the onside kick. I see 9 guys within about 15 yards of the ball. Lake Hamilton trails by 18. They need the ball back. We got a stoppage of play. Official at the very back stopped it, blew his whistle. Not sure why. I guess they weren't ready to start play.
Yep. Got to wait for Mr. Whitehat back there. Always waiting on him. It's usually the guy in the red hat on the sidelines for the TV timeouts, but you know, he's our partner, so we're not going to make fun of him today.
Red hat was off the field.
That's right.
Everybody was ready except for the white hat. He's the one who's running things. So.
Yeah, that's true. He can hold his hand up as long as he wants to.
I wonder if Lake Hamilton tries things different after.
Did kick that one deep.
There it is. Got a good bounce.
Jumped off sides.
Oh.
That was a perfectly placed onside kick, and they jumped off sides.
On the kickoff, 5 yards, re-kick.
A missed opportunity there for the Wolves special teams.
That was a very good attempt.
It was. Did you know? Yeah, sorry about that, Wes. Did you know, fans, you can see the live game stats before we do? Just download the Arkansas PBS Engage app to get all the numbers while the game's in action.
Well, you've tried a kind of a pooch kick. You've tried the onside kick. Now what do you do? They're going to kick it away from everybody and see if they can run down there and get it before Greenwood can. They should just let that go in the end zone, but they're not. They're going to return it, get out across the 10, the 15, the 20. He's got room to run, 40, nothing but green space now. I'm glad he didn't listen to me because he has a touchdown. Bulldogs, special teams, big play.
Jaden Jasna scoops that one up, goes 98 yards for the score. And when he fumbled the kickoff way back in the first quarter, I guarantee he's not going to remember that. That is a highlight play. He's a big-time playmaker in the secondary for the Bulldogs, and he just put the special teams in the end zone.
The way that ball was bouncing, I thought, just let it go across the goal line, take over to 20. He said, no, sir. I want to make a play.
What a great job by those other 10 guys as well. On a squib kick, you really don't know who to block. You don't have lanes. Got a hat on a hat, created a seam down the sideline, and just when you thought Lake Hamilton was going to cut into the lead a little bit, Greenwood says,
You know, more times than not on a situation like that, you see the kickoff coverage team make the tackle inside the 10, and then you're all backed up, and it's just bad for your offense. But what a play from Jasna. 42-17, Greenwood continues to add the points. Here's a look at the replay. You know, he
kind of took a big hop there.
You just don't know for sure, so you might as well make a play and take a chance.
Yeah, the hop juke there might have got away with a block in the back there as the Lake Hamilton defender was lunging for the tackler, but Jasmine does the rest with the speed, and 98 yards up the sideline, one shy of a state record. Of course, you can't return the kickoff out of the end zone. It's a big-time play.
And you got to give him credit, too. You know, you mentioned it. Had the fumble earlier in the game. Now the special teams unit comes up with a big play and returns it for the touchdown. is forgiven.
The longest kickoff return for a touchdown in state championship history. So Jaden Jasnov going to be in the record books.
Well, previous record was in 1946. So that was 74 years ago. He's got something to talk about for a while.
(42-17). Bulldogs doing what they do in December.
Here's the kick, a pooch kick, and Lake Hamilton jumps on it quickly. Ball is jumped on at the 46-yard line. Here's a replay of that kickoff. Well, we're going to come back to live action as Lake Hamilton gets to the line of scrimmage.
Do you know someone who couldn't make it to the game? Well, Arkansas PBS now offers more ways to watch it on demand. Just visit youtube.com/ArkansasPBS.
Yeah, timeout. Wolves have called timeout.
Take a quick moment to take a second to reflect on one of our partners here at PBS Sports. Scott Emmons not here with us this weekend for the state championship games this year because his wife, Nicole, has been battling brain cancer. Won a state championship as a soccer coach there at Bryant's, and unfortunately, Nicole passed away today after that battle with cancer. So be sure to keep Scott and his family in your thoughts and prayers as one of ours is hurting tonight. But at least that struggle is over for her.
Scott is being missed. We want you to know we miss you, Scott, but a lot of people are thinking about and praying for you and your family on this night. Earlier today, the Hornets won a state championship, and you know she's smiling somewhere, happy about Bryant and what they were able to accomplish today.
Another thrill for the Inman families watching their daughters win a soccer state championship. So just keep Scott Inman in your thoughts and prayers as his family deals with this. Tough times.
1st and 10 for the Wolves at the 46. Warwick keeps it. He bounces it outside. He's got room to run. He's across the 40 to the 35, finally out of bounds. He picks up a first down. Ball marked out at the 31. You can see the dimension that Lane Warwick brings to this team.
It really does. It adds just that extra element. You saw the perfect pass down the middle of the field. Just that element of speed just makes everything so much more difficult for a defense when you've got that element at quarterback. And obviously it's going to be a little too late for Lake Hamilton. But it's nice to see Warwick get out here. He's a senior, missed most of the season because of injury, but get out and make a few plays here in the state championship game.
And you just can't focus on Owen Miller or Tevin Woodley. That time, instead of giving it to Miller, he tucks it, keeps it, no gain.
Yeah, the two guys we've called their name the most, Ty Cowan and Jordan Hanna, converge in the backfield and shut that one down for a no gain.
Got a Lake Hamilton player down.
That is Warwick. Just had a tough year for Mr. Warwick.
See the frustration as they work on, looks like his right foot. Let's go down to the sideline, check in with Troy. Troy, were you able to see anything?
Yeah, not too much. Obviously, he was very disappointed. You could see him pounding on the ground there. Not really sure, but it looks like it's his right leg. But not exactly sure how he did it. But like you guys said, real tough year, battling injuries. I know when we were talking with Coach Gillerin towards the end of the regular season that he was looking to come back to play quarterback. However, he strained his shoulder again, so it held him back a little bit, but glad he got at least some playing time today, guys.
So Bearden back in the game for Lake Hamilton. A little double handoff. And they got a lot of running room, and Lake Hamilton's going to score. You love to see that. They're not going to give up. They're behind a lot, but they're going to keep pounding away and do what they do.
Kendrick Martin on the double handoff. Again, a little surprising. He hasn't got a few more touches tonight, just a sophomore. But you can see the future's bright for those 3 running backs for Lake Hamilton. The 2 times he's gotten the hands on his football, now 4 carries, 66 yards. But the last 2 have been the big ones for the Wolves offense.
Extra point is through. It makes it 42-24. We have 7 minutes, 2 seconds to go in the 4th quarter.
Now this second half has crawled to a pace.
First half was very quick. You had a couple of Lake Hamilton drives and Greenwood drives. That clock was ticking, and we got in and out of here in that first half. But a lot of scoring here in the second half.
Yeah, you go back to that final minute of the first half. We were cruising right along, and 3 consecutive timeouts before that 4th down play. And obviously the score right before the half, the halftime, the 3rd quarter, and now just these 2 teams trading scores. Lake Hamilton touchdowns on their last 2 possessions. Greenwood ran the kickoff back for a score. It's not a lot of flow to this contest, but still 7 minutes left. We've seen crazier things on Friday and Saturday nights in high school football. I wouldn't turn off that TV just yet.
Lake Hamilton coming out and figure they're going to try to steal a possession here, some kind of onside kick, pooch kick. I don't know if I'd pooch it to the 1 or 2 yard line to Jasna.
Yeah, they've had some success. They found the holes. I mean, they're kicking it where Greenwood's not. Unfortunately, there's Lake Hamilton chasing the football and not necessarily staying in their lanes, allowed Jasna to break the big one.
Here's the kick. Well, they're going to fake it and try the other side. And it goes out of bounds.
Just kicked it too hard. It's a nice setup there for Lake Hamilton, like the misdirection, but that's going to give the Bulldogs the ball right at midfield. And you're going to see Lake Hamilton, or excuse me, Greenwood, really try to slow this one down.
Free kick out of bounds. 5-yard penalty. First down, Greenwood.
Sometimes when you see that hard kick like that, the defense or the coverage team will try to recover it, and it bounces off of it.
Off the pads, you're right.
Greenwood credit, it hadn't gone 10 yards, so they just let it go, and they saw how hard it was going. So heads-up play from the Greenwood's coverage team or hands team.
Yeah, it should come as zero surprise that Greenwood's fundamentally sound in all 3 phases, and that's a prime example of it right there. Get out of the way of the football until it goes 10 yards.
Richmond's going to give it to Wilkinson. Wilkinson up the middle. He picks up about 8 yards on first down.
Gather the family for a must-see Christmas classic. A Charlie Brown Christmas. Going to be Sunday, December 13th at 6:30 on Arkansas PBS. Just getting stronger. Wes, as the game goes on, Hunter Wilkinson just starting to lean on you. Those offensive linemen starting to get a little more push. With the first 2-3 drives, Greenwood was getting nothing. I believe he had 25 yards in the first half, 35 yards. Find the halftime stats, but not many for Wilkinson. And now he's at 114.
First half was Greenwood throwing the ball. That was the story. It was Brewer was the guy. And now it's Wilkinson.
And as Greenwood's attempted 1 pass in the second half, and as you called it earlier, is a shovel pass.
It might as well have been a handoff. It was a 4-inch pass. It's like Greenwood will be just a hair short. Bring up 3rd down. Now they're going to, well.
Going to move the chains there.
Still says 3rd down. I don't know what they're doing. They may measure this.
Yeah, the white hat called for a first down to move the chains. Well, change his mind.
Yep.
As he can do because he wears a different colored hat.
3rd down, so they're going to put the chains back in.
That means he's
position.
special.
Means he's running the show. I need to get a white hat for my house.
No kidding, right?
Yes.
Just let me know how that works out for you.
Think you know since you're married. Greenwood looking over at the sideline. They got the play. 3rd and 1. It's really about 3rd and a couple feet. Expect Richmond or Wilkinson to get this. Wilkinson, he's got the first down. He moves the chains, moves the ball across the 35.
You know what Greenwood doesn't allow for substituting because they go so fast on offense. Only 2 players have touched football as far as the run game, Richmond and Wilkinson. And you look at the season stats, they reflect that. 193 carries coming into tonight for Wilkinson. Tyler Moose, the second leading rusher, has got 48 attempts. They don't give the football to a lot of players as far as their starting rotation goes. It's all about L.D. Richmond and Hunter Wilkinson, but as we've seen tonight, that's a pretty good 1-2 combo to give the football to.
You're about to see more of that, I would guess. That's Wilkinson. Picks up about 3-4 hard-earned yards.
That's what makes this so impressive, Wes. And you can throw Lake Hamilton into this equation as well, the success they've had this year. When teams know you're running the football and you can still go out and run the football successfully, that says a lot about the offensive linemen, about the running backs, of course, the receivers, the tight ends, whatever formation you run. You're going out there saying, you know we're running it right here. Stop it if you want. And more times than not, these two teams haven't been stopped.
42-24. 18-point lead for Greenwood. Last 4.5 minutes of the game. We're going to give Wilkinson a rest and let L.D. Richmond carry the ball. He gets it across the 30, down at the 28. Say they give Wilkinson a rest, but he was the lead blocker.
He's the lead blocker. Well, we've seen tonight he's a pretty good lead blocker. Let's talk about a selfless player. The first play of the second half was really indicative of what he was going to do. Comes out and absolutely lays out a defensive player for Lake Hamilton, and that set the tone. 15 carries, 84 yards for Richmond.
Under 4 minutes to go. Richmond tries to draw them off sides, but they're now working the play clock. Under 5 to go. Richmond keeps it, looking for a hole. Fights forward, gets the ball close to the 25-yard line. He needed to get to the 25. He may have the first down. Yep, he does have it.
Give it to him. Nice job by Richmond. Again, Wilkinson had his nose right there as the lead blocker. You know, I rambled off the 5 starters earlier for Greenwood, and I'll do it again. Stein, Presson, Irwin, Cole, and Brown. Those guys have been pretty impressive this year and pretty impressive today as they've outrushed Lake Hamilton up to this point.
5.8 yards per carry. I think Greenwood would take that every game. 220 yards rushing. Now have more rushing yards than passing yards.
And Greenwood's going to burn the timeout as the play clock was about to run out there.
Timeout, Greenwood. Their second of the half.
Well, this has just been a slow and methodical drive. Got to remember, this started about midfield, and Greenwood's bled, 2 minutes off the clock and just advanced at 25 yards.
Coach wasn't happy with his assistant coaches in the booth. He turned around and looked up here at the press box and was waving his arms and slammed his paper down. He was, I guess they didn't get the play in quick enough for him. He was upset with the guys up here.
So you don't think he's listening to our broadcast?
I don't think it was us, because we were giving them compliments, and talking about how great the offensive line and the rushing game has been.
Yeah, you know, it's us TV guys. It's always our fault. Let's be real. Hard to believe this Greenwood football team is 3.5 minutes away from state title number 10 in the last 20 years. First one came back in 2000, so I guess that's technically 21 years.
Wilkinson again with the carry, picks up about 4 yards. I think I saw a tweet this week that Greenwood won a state championship in 2000, 2010.
Yep.
And going for a start of the new decade of 2020.
That's right. I mean, doing it with a new coach. Talk about starting the new decade off right. Undefeated season. And Chris Young's been there for all 9 state championships that Greenwood's made and won. You got to believe that this ring is going to sit in the front of that trophy case, though. The first one as a head coach.
You may remember this. I was trying to go back and think who was the preseason favorite in 6A in our media poll to begin the year.
I would imagine Benton would be pretty high, but I've been doing this for far too long, and Wes, you're right there with me. If anybody other than Greenwood's not in your top 1 or 2, you're probably doing it wrong.
I have to look through the archives and see if I can find that.
I know that the 2 running backs for Lake Hamilton were expected to be among the best running backs in the state, which they have been. They've been really impressive this season. But, I mean, you've got Greenwood, Benton. Nobody really thought that Sylvan Hills was going to go out and win a conference championship to start things off. First year with Chris Hill as the head coach.
Presses did well in their first year,
Yes.
whether you're talking about Chris Young or Chris Hill. Wilkinson with it, and he was stopped that time. Lake Hamilton defense got penetration. One of the few times we've seen Greenwood be thrown for a loss.
Yeah, it's a really nice job by Lake Hamilton. They're going to burn the timeout to save a little time, and decision time coming up for Greenwood. But give credit to that Lake Hamilton defense. They haven't quit, made a big play there, and now they got a chance to get themselves off the field, and maybe their offense a chance to get the ball back.
The fourth and a long one. You got to guess Greenwood's going to go for it here. Try to get that first down and milk the clock. With Lake Hamilton only one more timeout left, I don't even know if Lake Hamilton would call timeouts and stop it. If you get the first down here, you can take a knee and get your Gatorade bath and get on the bus.
Yeah, let's go down to the sideline. Troy, what are you hearing from the guys in gray?
Yeah, the guys in gray, they're all kind of prepping right now. They're giving each other high fives. Everybody's smiling a lot. And, yeah, I believe that they're getting that Powerade bucket. Yeah, I've got my eyes on it right over there, guys. They're going to get it ready, too, because like you said, Chris Young in his first year as the head coach here, about the state title, it's pretty big.
Going to the air, they throw it up, and we're going to get pass interference.
And just kind of ran circles around the defensive back and couldn't locate the football, couldn't locate the receiver, and that penalty may do it. You know, Troy's new at this, and so Troy, I don't know if you've ever been a sideline reporter, but you're supposed to go stand right in front of that bucket, especially when they tip it over. That's what a true sideline reporter will do. He'll
go stand by coach.
He'll take that one for the team.
Go stand right next to coach.
We would do it, but
Pass
we're up here in the box.
On the defense. Half the distance to the goal. That's enough for a first down.
So Greenwood should be able to take 3 knees here, assuming Lake Hamilton doesn't take a timeout. With the time it would take to snap it and take the knee, should be able to bleed that 2 minutes off the clock, if my math is correct. 40 seconds on the play clock. 3 times is 2 minutes.
We're going to hand it off to Wilkinson. Gets outside. He's going to get into the end zone and add to his career scoring mark at Greenwood.
Yeah, talk about putting an exclamation mark on his career. A really impressive second half, really impressive career for the Bulldogs running back.
We have a Lake Hamilton defender down on the ground. Yeah, a couple of minutes before we get the extra point attempt, but Lake Hamilton now being doubled up by Greenwood. 48-24 is your score.
And that was about as easy a touchdown as he's going to score this season. Obviously some communication was crossed there on the defensive side. Didn't have contain on the outside. And Greenwood caps this one off.
You saw Lake Hamilton, they were pinching the middle. They had everybody stop the middle, right up the gut, and they thought Greenwood would try to take it right up the middle, but instead bounce it outside.
He's played in the second half.
Luis Morales on.
Mr. Wilkinson has got to be your player of the game, the way he's played in the second half.
Luis Morales on for the extra point. So far, he's 6 of 6 on the night. Let's see if he can make it 7 for 7.
Thing the way they're supposed to since midway through that first quarter. Offense, defense. We've seen Lake Hamilton put it in the end zone the last couple drives. But Hunter Wilkinson, 25 carries, 148 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I believe it's 69 or 70 now. Math's hard for me, so I'm trying to keep a running total there. But in his career, either way, really, really impressive run for number 30.
I think you could have had a debate earlier on about who was the game's MVP.
Absolutely.
But after this third quarter, fourth quarter, no doubt about it. Hunter Wilkinson, huge second half.
Everybody knows he's getting the football, and he's still churning up yards. We have the first half stats laying around here. I mean, what he's done after halftime is really impressive. We're actually doing too good of a job of cleaning up. Here we are. First half, Hunter Wilkinson, 7 carries for 25 yards.
Wow.
The second half, as I do some quick math here, 18 carries, 123 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
That is your MVP. In my book, we'll see what everyone votes here.
Yeah, let's be real. That big media room doesn't count. That's what we say up here. Only if that were true.
Kickoff is deep. Lake Hamilton fields it at about the 1-yard line. Looking for a big play, looking for a big return. They get it to about the 26.
I think starting to get a little chippy out there. Did so on the extra point now. A little dramatics after the kickoff.
Well, these are conference rivals.
Yep.
They play every year in conference, and I know last year there was a little bad blood when they played up in Greenwood. And
That's right.
turned around and played twice this year, so yeah, it's tough when you play somebody a lot.
It is, and you know, we saw that. I think it was the end of last year with Bryant and North Little Rock, the end of that championship game. I mean, those two teams have played each other half a dozen times in 3 years. That's what a good rivalry is all about, though.
Well, we're going to see it next weekend also.
That's right.
5A state championship game next Saturday at noon. Pulaski Academy and Little Rock Christian will play in the state finals for the 3rd straight year.
And they're conference rivals as well, so their 6th meeting in 3 seasons.
They've split the last 2 state championships. Pulaski Academy winning last year. Year before, you remember the big game that Justice Hill had for Little Rock Christian. And that stopped the Bruins streak. They had won 4 straight state championships. And Justice Hill. And
you can argue there's been a dynasty at all 3 levels of the largest states. You know, 7A's Bryant, 6A's Greenwood, 5A's Pulaski Academy.
Fighting forward, trying to get a first down. 4A's been kind of wide open.
4A has been wide. Robinson's been in the finals a couple times. Arkadelphia 1-2. Shiloh Christian's back in the semifinals. I think this is the 3rd straight year. The Saints have made it to the Final Four.
I'm excited to watch next Friday night's game between Stuttgart.
It's going to be a good one. I think I live in Northwest Arkansas. I may have to make the short drive over to Champion Stadium and check that one out.
Well, you should. You're previewing. You know, you're doing a little scouting. One of those teams will be in the state championship game the next week.
Yeah, then the 2A, it's been Junction City for the most part. If we're talking about dynasties, they didn't make the finals this year. Junction City went down last night.
Desark winning that home game, and Desark will play Fordyce a week from tonight in the 2A state championship. And Fordyce looking for their 2nd straight state championship.
Yeah, battle of unbeatens there. One last note, experience all the action again next week. You can watch all the championship games, these 2, 7A and 6A, on Arkansas PBS Sports, featured on youtube.com. Arkansas PBS.
All right, I see the Gatorade. They've got it ready. They're just a couple of yards behind Coach Young. This should be the last play of the game. Lake Hamilton with the double handoff. Room to run, but quickly tackled. And keep an eye on Coach, because here it comes.
Whew, that was a good one.
There are your champions, the Greenwood Bulldogs, the 10th state championship after knocking off Lake Hamilton 49-24.
What an effort. What an adjustment from Greenwood. You're down 10-0 midway through the first quarter. Lake Hamilton has the football in Greenwood territory. They get the stop there. Then the momentum started to go the other direction. And the Bulldogs, once they got Uncle Mo, they didn't give it back. 35 unanswered points. And that's why they've got another state championship heading back to Sebastian County.
It'll be a sweet ride home to Sebastian County tonight. A lot of fans made the trip. We saw the yellow buses parked in the same spot the Bryant Hornet buses were parked a little bit earlier today. When I left the stadium, Bryant, those kids were on the bus making a lot of noise, having a lot of fun. And here in a few minutes, it'll be the Greenwood Bulldogs in those buses celebrating.
Yeah, this year is just crazy. And I know we got a break, but with COVID and everything that goes along with it, hats off to everybody who made this season happen. Greenwood was able to